Have you noticed something on the roads lately? A lot more cars you might not recognize? You're not imagining it. Suddenly, Chinese cars are everywhere in Europe. So, how did this happen so fast? It feels like just yesterday European streets were dominated by familiar German, French, and Italian badges. Now, brands like BYD, MG, and NIO are popping up in every city. What's their secret? Well, the story isn't just about cheap cars. It's about perfect timing, brilliant strategy, and a few massive missteps by Europe's own auto giants. Welcome to Nobody Drives Like. Subscribe and comment for more. Let's start. Let's start with the big one, electric vehicles. For years, European governments have been pushing for electrification, setting ambitious targets to phase out petrol and diesel cars. The problem? While European carmakers were busy holding meetings and designing PowerPoints about their future EV plans, Chinese brands were already building them. By the thousands. They had a massive head start in mass production, and when Europe was finally ready for EVs, Chinese companies were waiting with ships full of them. This wasn't just a lucky break. It was a calculated move built on total supply chain domination. Think about what goes into an electric car. The most expensive and crucial part is the battery. And who controls the global battery market? China. They dominate everything from mining the raw materials like lithium to refining them and assembling the final battery packs. They also lead in producing electric motors and all the other essential components. This gives them a huge advantage. They can build EVs cheaper and faster than anyone else, while European manufacturers are left scrambling to secure their own supplies, often from those same Chinese companies. It's like trying to win a race when your competitor owns the track, the fuel, and the company that makes the running shoes. This brings us to the next point. Europe kind of left the door wide open. For years, established European brands have been moving upmarket. They focused on premium models with high price tags, complex technology, and, let's be honest, a pretty slow rollout of new electric vehicles. They were so busy chasing high profit margins on luxury SUVs that they forgot about a huge chunk of the market, regular people who just want a decent, affordable car to get from A to B. This created a massive gap, and Chinese brands drove right into it. They came in with cars that were simple, well-equipped, and most importantly, affordable. They offered a lot of car for the money, exactly what many European buyers were looking for. But don't mistake affordable for low quality. This isn't the story of cheap knockoffs from a decade ago. Chinese companies have been playing the long game. Take a company like Geely. They didn't just try to compete with European brands. They bought them. Geely now owns Volvo and Lotus. By acquiring these iconic companies, they gained instant access to decades of European engineering expertise, world-class safety standards, and sophisticated design language. They learned from the best, took that knowledge back home, and then scaled it up with terrifying speed and efficiency. They combined European quality with Chinese manufacturing power, creating a product that's hard to ignore. They are essentially using Europe's own playbook against it. Finally, the world has changed. The car buyer of today isn't the same as the car buyer of 20 years ago. Brand loyalty, that old idea of sticking with one badge for your entire life, is weaker than ever, especially among younger generations. Today's buyers are far more pragmatic. They care less about the history of a logo and more about practical things. What is the final price? What kind of warranty do I get? Does it have a big touch screen and connect to my phone easily? What's the monthly payment going to be? On all these fronts, Chinese brands are winning. They offer longer warranties, more standard tech features, and lower prices that translate into more manageable monthly costs. For a new generation of buyers raised on comparing specs and prices online, the choice is often a logical one. So, the rise of Chinese cars in Europe isn't just one single thing. It's a perfect storm of perfect timing with EVs controlling the entire supply chain, European brands leaving a gap in the market, learning from their competitors, and adapting to a new type of consumer. The old giants of the European auto industry are now in a real fight, and it's happening right on their home turf. The next few years are going to be fascinating to watch. What do you think? Are you considering a Chinese brand for your next car? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe for more.